Hey, what's up, everybody? We back to the I've Been Falsely Accused radio show. This is show 22, and we definitely doing it big. I hope y'all enjoying the show today. I hope y'all understand that we do this show out of love. I hope y'all understand that we do this show, and we definitely celebrate our exonerees. We celebrate the people who's in jail right now who are innocent, and people don't even believe they're innocent, but there's evidence that prove there's no way they should even be in jail right now. But they in there. Maybe they had a prosecutor who felt like, you know what, no matter what, I don't want to lose this case. Maybe they had a bad cop who felt like, you know what, I just want to put this person away. Maybe they had a person who identified them the wrong way and didn't think once and didn't think twice and just said, yo, I'm tired of being, harassed about who it is. It's him. It's that one right there. Okay, now let's get it over with. Now, y'all know when somebody identifies somebody like that ain't right. And I don't understand how they can even go home and sleep at night when you just it's almost like closing your eyes and throwing a dart. You don't know where it's going to land. You just throw it. And that ain't right. Not when there's lives, in the palm of your hand. You can destroy a life just by one yes, and you done destroyed somebody's lives. In this hour, everybody, we got Mr. Johnny Pinchback, who served 27 years. We got Charles Chatman. He also served 27 years. This ain't no joke. When people serve time like this and then they get exonerated, the first thing they think is, oh, my goodness, this didn't even have to happen. If you found out I didn't do it, maybe this could have been found out a long time ago if somebody would have really took interest in my case, if my attorney would have played right and done his job right, if the prosecutor would have, had a little leniency on me, or even if the judge stepped up and said, you know what, hold on. Let's just take a break. Everybody to my chamber for a minute. This just don't sound right. I do believe there's good people in this world. I believe there's good judges. I believe there's good attorneys. I believe there's good prosecutors. I believe sometimes justice gets in the way of their goodness and it turns into just doing a job. In the process of just doing a job, you send people away just because you want to close a case or you want to show that, hey, I'm great at my job. I got a high percentage rate of winning. I don't tolerate losing. And if I lose, it's going to be hell to pay. And believe me, these young men that I have on the phone with me right now, hell has been paid, but to the wrong people. I don't think it's cool when these people get put away for years, way longer than what these two served. Or even if it's a day, one day is too long for a lie. So I want y'all to really think about what I'm saying. Excuse me. I want y'all to understand that when, these guys come on and talk, I want y'all to show them a lot of love. I want all our listeners around the world to listen with open ears. And I want y'all to understand that when you judge somebody, you never know when that karma might come back on somebody in your family and you'll be facing the same decision that you're saying right now, whether if they innocent or not. The way I look at it, they out, they innocent, they use DNA to show that they had no way, of doing it, and they out. So why wouldn't you have love for them? Why wouldn't you have compassion for these men? Why would you still look at anybody that they use DNA to get them out and still look at them like dirt or trash or whatever you think about these people because they might have raped or killed or, whatever they got excluded from? If it wasn't them, it wasn't them. Why don't we be mad and we have that much far in trying to find the real person that done it? Well, I want y'all to know my heart goes out to these two brothers. You know what I'm saying? And I'm talking brothers of every color. It ain't about one color. When it comes to justice, it's about being fair. It's about every color. Basically in the courthouse, any color can get it. So if that's their motto, why can't our motto be any color? We celebrate them. When they exonerated. We celebrate them through their whole trial, if they innocent. Like I said, just remember these words. With the court system, they feel like any color can get it when it comes down to making their money and closing these cases. You're on the chopping block. We need strong people, with these innocence projects. And I definitely want to thank all the strong people that we got. Like I said, in the first hour, Mr. Justin Brooks, who's doing a great job. And thank God for him and all the young attorneys that he's getting right now. But thank God for all the innocence projects around the world who's working hard and getting people out. Because let me tell you, me and Jeffrey, we can't do it alone. Me and Jeffrey need help. And I would never want to take everybody on my back and say, hey, I got you. You know what I'm saying? Because any strong man gets weak. You know what I'm saying? But a weak man can get strong. with the help of his other friends. So I just want to say to everybody, y'all stay locked in and stay tuned in. When I come right back in, I got Mr. Johnny Pinchback. I got Mr. Charles Chatman. And believe me, they so full of energy and they on fire and they ready to talk and they ready to tell their story because it's all about love. It's all about compassion. Somebody had love and compassion for them to get them out of jail. Now they spreading the love and compassion to keep y'all out of jail with great information and to put y'all up on game. This court game, this prosecutor game, this attorney game that happens to people, this false eyewitness game. Get your pens and your paper ready, and let's enjoy a great second hour of I've Been Falsely Accused. I'm your host, Cogee. My main man, Mr. Jeffrey Deskovic. He'll be with us a little later on. He's handling business right now like he's always doing, saving lives. So I want y'all to get ready, stay locked in, and we'll be right back. I can't wait. We're going to make it quick, and we right back in. It's only one way home. And we got him here with us right now, Mr. Johnny Pinchback and Mr. Charles Chatman. I celebrate y'all when we come right back. Hey, we back, everybody. You right. It might have been a long time, but they back home. They with us. They ready to tell y'all how they doing great right now. They ready to tell y'all how they stood strong. They ready to tell us how we can stand strong and we can support them and we can support other exonerees. I got Mr. Johnny Pinchback. How you doing today, sir?
Hey, wonderfully blessed. Wonderfully blessed, man. Feeling good.
I hear you, man. We got Mr. Charles Chatman. What's up, Charles?
I'm doing great, man. I ain't got no complaints today.
I hear you. Now, let me ask both of y'all a question real quick. And like I said, I do thank both of y'all for being here with us right now. Now, when I opened the show, all the stuff that I said, did I say anything that didn't make sense? Did I say a lot of stuff that made sense? What y'all think about my intro?
Good. Everything sounded, in perspective, it sounded great. It was good. It was good.
Thank you.
I loved it. I did. I loved it.
Thank you. And you know what I try to do, I try to let people feel y'all's hearts before y'all even come in. Because, when I read y'all stories and, the night before I get all the information, I sit down at the table and I read it. And I always put my heart in the place of y'all's hearts. And I know how I would want to feel, when I come out. But I also know how y'all feel sitting in there. And I want to go to you first, Johnny, and then I'm going to come to you, Charles. Johnny, the first thing I want to ask you is, people do not understand what an exoneree goes through while he's sitting there waiting to fight a case. Can you talk about that real quick? And then I'll go to Charles.
Yeah. Like you were saying, I don't know what an exoneree go through with, but also what an exoneree's wife goes through. Also, I've got a wife that's sitting here with me that has been with me for the last 22 so years with me while I was in prison. Well, we've been married for 22 years. She's been there with me all the time. She's sitting here with me too.
Oh, you know what? Well, tell your Shiro. Tell your Shiro. I said congratulations.
Yeah,
that's a Shiro.
I'm going to talk with her too, because she stood strong with me.
Right.
She was a very big support. Very, very big support.
And that's rare right now to have one to hold on that long.
Yeah, actually, she's been married twice, and me, I've been married 3 times.
Okay.
3 times now to the same woman. We got married by proxy while I was in prison. I got out, and my mom's cousin married us again, and later that year we had a big wedding. So I've been married 3 times to the same woman, so that should tell you that I love her. Even though we've been through some ups and downs, but I love her.
That's a love you just can't let go of. That's a good thing. Congratulations to you both. I mean that, definitely. Congratulations. Yeah. Well, let me go to Charles real quick. Charles, what don't our listeners understand about an exoneree, being locked up and fighting for your life to get out?
Well, the hardest thing for me was to just let go, because I was in there for a long time worried about what other people thought. I did what I could, through the legal system to get out, and nothing worked, for a long time. You, in your introduction, you touched on that the fact that we do have some good judges, and some good lawyers, and some good district attorneys.
Right.
And I have to tell you, had it not been for one particular judge looking at some of the stuff I had sent to his office and taking note, that I probably be still, even today. So I want to integrate the fact that all lawyers, all judges is not bad, but to have even one bad lawyer, bad judge, then that disrupts everybody. And you also touched on the fact that even though the most you see being falsely convicted is young black males,
Right.
but it touches everybody. It don't discriminate, because down here in Texas we have blacks, we have Hispanics, we have Caucasians, Asians, women, and all. So I think this is a good program that y'all are doing right now.
Thank you, sir.
Because we got to let society know that my motto is you have to stay ready, so you don't have to get ready.
That's right.
Meaning that you got to acknowledge that this is a problem that needs to be addressed, and if you don't address it now, sooner or later it's gonna touch you. Maybe not you personally, but your family, friends, or somebody you know. So I'm all down for what y'all doing.
Yes, sir.
Because it's an extension of what we try to do.
Mm-hmm. You right about that. You definitely right about that. And I appreciate you guys as well. Now, I want to go to Johnny real quick. I want to ask you a question, and I'm coming right back to you, Charles, real quick. Johnny, how does a person do 27 years and stay sane? This is the question that somebody just texted me a minute ago when I had said in the intro that both of y'all done 27 years. Now, I'm going to ask both of y'all the same question, because both of y'all are going to tell me two different ways that y'all dealt with it just to get through that 27 years to see this open gate and this ray of light called life again. So, Johnny, I'm coming to you. How did you stay sane, and how did you get through 27 years of prison?
Wait a minute, what is your name again?
Cogee.
Cogee.
Yes.
Check this out. Now, I'm cool and everything. There's a whole bunch of them out here right now. Actually, don't think that I'm really sane. But you know what? Like I said, when I got out of here, you can't catch up with this out here. You have to catch in, man. Technology and everything. You're lost. You're very, very lost.
Right.
But I stayed sane, doing something. I had to do something constructive. I had to keep my mind away from that place on a daily basis. Mm-hmm. I had to mentally leave that place every single day that I was there. That's what I did. And it wasn't that, God now I became strong, a very strong believer in God later on, because, for me, filing writs and doing this and everything, I was saying, like, man, it's not going to take care of this. Man can't take care of this, from the way that it was fabricated and constructed. If you'd have read it, there would have been no doubt in your mind he committed that crime. That's the way it was fabricated. Right. So I had to count on God. Mm-hmm. I had to count on God because of the way that I was previously living. I had spent 6 years in the military also, so I'd only been on the streets for like about 3.5 years. I went in when they was pulling up out of Vietnam, so military, I was kickboxing, representing the military, fighting all overseas and everything. So I knew how to fight from the streets and everything. So, like, when I went there to prison, I said to God, I said, look here. I said, I'm going to survive by all means necessary.
That's
I
right.
said, ain't nobody going to take nothing from me. Ain't nobody going to beat me up. And ain't going to be nobody's punk. If I have to kill someone to do this, to survive, that's what I'm going to do.
You got that
I didn't
right.
I didn't have to kill anybody. I had plenty of fights now. Plenty. Didn't lose one.
Right.
Charles had plenty of fights just about every day. I was like, where you going, man? He's handcuffed going down the hallway. You know what I'm saying? This was, it was the way of life when, back in the game. Then the prison was rough. It was very rough.
Wow.
But, I read and I wrote and I wrote. I love writing. As a matter of fact, I have a book, that I'm finishing up right now, The Other Side of Madness. That's the name of my book. But I kept myself busy. And then I had a loving family that supported me and came to visit me,
mm-hmm.
and stuff like that. And then, like, Charles and I met in prison, and we became like brothers. And we were out of the same neighborhood, but we didn't know each other.
Right.
We didn't know each other. And it was him that, later paid for my DNA. He was already out.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, hey, don't you remember? Don't you remember I told you about my case? But it was a godly thing because my stepdaughter, there was somebody being exonerated downtown, and she looked over and she seen Charles, and she didn't even know Charles, and she just went up to Charles and she said, hey, do you know my daddy? And she said, he said, well, who is your daddy? He said, Johnny Pinchback. And it was like, God sent her to him.
Right.
And, right there, things just shot off because I was like, at the time, he came down to visit me. He said, I don't remember, Johnny. I don't remember. I said, we talked about this all the time. I said, and he looked at me and said, well, you didn't have nothing to do with that, right? I said, no, I didn't have anything to do with it. At the time, he was back here advocating and everything, in and out of legislation in Austin and everything, and working with the Innocence Project. So he came back and he spoke with some of the Innocence Project lawyers. And my case was the 400th one. Was the 400th one. So when he came back and spoke with them and everything, they moved my case to the top. Had not that happened, I wouldn't have been getting out of there till this year. I got out in 2011. I wouldn't have been getting out probably this year or next year.
Mm.
He was the one that paid for my DNA, the special test that they had to do.
Oh, wow.
And I come home, when I come home, I didn't have to wait for anything. He said, anything you want, anything you need, man. I'm living with my wife in an apartment. I'm like, hey, man, I need $750 for rent. Is that all? Okay. All right, man. I need clothes. Okay. Well, let's go. Let's do this. And he told me, he said, you know what? He said, when you get your money, he said, you don't owe me nothing. He said, when the next one get out exonerated, you got to look out for him.
That's right.
So that's what we've been doing, here and there.
So y'all got a brotherhood.
It's a brotherhood. Yes, it is.
That's right.
Yes, it is. And he and I, we speak on a daily basis. I'll call him, or he'll call me.
Right.
Sometimes the both of us, we may get so busy. But I was like, well, I'll tell Sandy, well, I haven't spoke with Charles in a few days. I need to call him, check it out, see what's going on. But he lives like about 40 miles, so it's like 40 miles from me. It was like 80-mile trip. Like, no, I don't visit Charles as much out there. but we see each other, pretty much.
Right.
Yeah,
and you know what, man?
But I have my wife here, too, if you want to ask her any questions. If you want to ask her any questions, because she's still strong. She's still very strong with me.
Okay, now what I want to do, I want to ask both of y'all right now. I can ask y'all up front right now real quick. In the next hour, I guess that was supposed to come on, he had to cancel because he had an engagement he had to go to, and it was going to run over. Can y'all hang with me for both hours, and then I can talk to your wife for a while, and I can talk to y'all, for the next 2 hours, if that's okay?
Don't have anything else to do.
All right, I appreciate it. Is it okay with you, Charles?
It's good, man.
Okay, all right, there it is. It's all good. So what I'll do, Johnny, I'm going to talk to your wife in the third hour. Then I can really talk to her and really ask her, the questions I want to ask her about, being a prison wife. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And we can definitely break it down. So I want to thank both of y'all too for rolling with me, but I want to go to Charles real quick. Charles, how did you stay sane and how did you hold on 27 years? And I heard you was in there getting your Reuben Hurricane on, you was fighting. So what happened?
Yeah. Well, man, for a long time, I was, just kind of like wild in there, man. But, I figured it out. That what was happening to me had to be an act of God. I say that God must have seen misjustice going on in the justice system, and he had to prepare some people for it. And I feel kind of really blessed that I'm one of the people he chose to get, to go through that, and because it had to be by his grace that I made it out. Because I could have been killed or hurt any day in that place. So it had to be by his hand that I got through that 27 years. So I stand by that now, and I don't look back on what I did or what I should have did or how I did, because I know everything that I did was, controlled by him. So you say that how do we stay sane? Am I sane? But I'm just blessed that God, that God is still taking control of my life.
Right.
So I just take it like that and go.
I hear you. And you know what, man? Y'all definitely broke it down. But another thing I want to ask y'all, Okay, I'm gonna come to Johnny real quick. Johnny, I want to ask you a question real quick. Like you said, you was in the military for 6 years, right?
Right, right.
Now here it is. You're an honorable man. You fighting for our country, and then somebody put rape on you, and put you away in prison, and try to throw away your whole life. What did that do to you as an American?
That messed me up, man. That really messed me up. I was like, man, I served my country. Can I get some help? Will somebody help me? Will somebody believe me? Listen to me?
Right.
That messed me up. And I'm telling man, look, it really did. It messed me up. I didn't know what to say, what to think, what to feel about our judicial system.
Right.
It made me start feeling and thinking very negative about it after really seeing and understanding and thinking about it.
Mm-hmm.
And the way it really was at that time. It was like legalized slavery.
Right. Well,
the time when Charles went, it was a racist thing with the judicial system. Right. It really was here in Texas.
Right. And you know what? Let me ask you this real quick, Johnny. You didn't have none of your military friends, nobody to come in and speak on your character?
No, sir. No, I didn't. No, I did not. Even though I got out on 2 honorable discharges.
Wow. So when you look back on that, when you was in prison, did you think to yourself, I should have brung in people that knew my character and knew me personally, that were high-ranking people where their word carries a little clout?
I thought about all of that.
Right. I hear you.
It was a nightmare. But I thought about. Yes, I did think about that. But really didn't know where to start or where to turn to look for him.
Because it was a shock. You was in a fog the whole trial, basically.
It was a shock,
Right.
And actually, I was preparing to go back into the military to retire when they railroaded me. That was what I was in the process of doing.
Mm.
Yeah, I was in the process of getting a bar lifted off of me. I had gotten barred my last tour, and my bar was for saving a person's life, and then it turned around. I had to beat the guy up because he started using the N-word after I'd saved his life. So I had to beat him up. I beat him up real good. And it was like, okay, we're going to let you out. We're going to give you an honorable discharge, but we're going to bar you. So that happened like that.
Wow. Okay, so now that you're out and you exonerated, do you still get your benefits from the military? Are you still entitled to everything?
I'm entitled to all of my benefits. I hadn't used any of them though. I hadn't used any of my benefits. I'm in the process. I'm getting ready to though. I can't let them go to waste.
Did they stop your money or anything when you was incarcerated?
Well, I'm not disabled.
Oh, okay.
I'm not disabled, but I have found out that I was exposed to Agent Orange and stuff like that. So I'm fixing to get with them on that.
Oh wow, that's right.
Yes, I'm fixing to get with them on that, and then probably invest in more property. God is good. Like I say, God is good. I have a nice home here over in Cedar Hill, Texas, and wife and I, we have a ranch about a 20-acre ranch about 160 miles from here. So, everything is good, man. Everything is good.
I hear you, man. I hear you. And that's cool. I hear you. Now let me go to Charles real quick. Charles, I want to ask you, you live in your day to day doing your thing, and then boom, all of a sudden this lady says that you raped her. You done some of the most heinous, brutal stuff that you ain't even with, that you ain't capable of it because, well, anybody's capable of it, but your mentality, that ain't what you about. You get what I'm saying? And then somebody put you in the picture of a monster. What is this? What did it do to you?
Well, I'm gonna tell you, and I'm not ashamed to tell anybody. I don't profess to be that I was an angel before this happened. No, I had been in trouble. I was on a 4-year probation at the time in this crime for burglary, but I had just about lived it down. I mean, I had almost lived it down. I'm talking about a couple of months, and I had not been in any trouble or anything. The neighborhood where the crime was committed, I hadn't even lived over there in over 5 years. I had an alibi. I had time cards. I had people to come and testify that I was over 100 miles away when the time of this crime happened. And you know, it was really shocking how it happened to me. I was on the bus stop one morning, and police just stopped, and they arrested me for not paying my dues for my probation.
Okay.
Probation officer, I called him. He told me, he said, "Well, just pay the dues and you go." So I paid up the dues, what I owed them, and expected to get out. But I stayed. They kept me there a whole another month. Then they arranged me on the rape case.
Right.
Well, when they were telling me who had got raped, which was a lady who lived in the neighborhood. She was only about two white families living in a predominantly black neighborhood, and one of the white ladies got raped. So they called me down for a lineup, and I could see through the screen who it was, and I wasn't worried. Well, I mean, I stayed 5 houses from this lady for 13 years, but we never had any action, no kind that I could ever remember. And I laughed. You know, I kind of smiled a little bit while I was in the lineup, and because I know this lady I know this lady won't say I did anything to her, but she did. She said that I broke in her house and I raped her, and I had a car, which I never drove at that time. I had a car parked outside, and she heard me loading stuff in it and everything. And that's what they used to convict me.
But Charles, hold on, excuse me 1 second. Let me interject just for 1 second. 1 second. You said when you was in the lineup, you kind of smiled. You don't think that hurt you?
And that and the fact that I'm black is what they used to convict me.
That smile and your race.
I didn't smile in a marking way, and this is what I always try to tell them. I smiled because I knew, you know, when I seen this lady, I knew that she wouldn't pick me out of a lineup to be committed this crime.
Right.
That's why I smiled.
But you think a smile got taken in the wrong way, especially from when a victim sees, you know, somebody smile who they felt did this to them. It's almost like, you know, whatever.
No. I don't think it would never said that she seen me smile.
Oh, okay.
It was that the investigating officer seen me do it.
Right. Okay.
It was never said that she seen me smile, and I don't think she ever did.
Oh, okay.
But you know, and you know, it was just like a smile of relief or something like that.
Oh, okay.
But even if she did see me and have said, that wasn't enough for them. I mean, that wasn't reason for them to do what they did to me. And you know, but anyway, I never thought I would get convicted. I never thought I would get convicted of this crime, but I did. And I like to tell people that they even took a blood test to prove that I was black. And, you know, and this is the evidence they used against me. And this is all the evidence they had against me. The fact that I lived in the neighborhood, I did that little smile at the lineup, and I was black. And that was it. So
they standing right in front of you, and they can see that you're a black man, and they still did a blood test to see if you was black.
They did a blood test to prove that I was black, and even they expert witness, the lady who conducted the blood test, who did the blood test.
Yeah.
She even testified that I was type A or something like that. I kind of don't remember, but and which is the same blood type of 40% of all young black males in America.
Wow.
It don't prove. She told them on the stand that I cannot tell you that Mr. Chatman committed this crime. But you know, it went down like it did. So, you know, for a long time while I was in there, I was angry. I was one of the maddest person that you ever. I mean, I was so mad I didn't even like being around me. I mean, the officers didn't like being around me. The other inmates didn't like being around me. Or nothing, because I feel like that I was only convicted because I was black. I met the criteria of the suspect.
And after the DNA, they really knew you was black. That's degrading, man. That is degrading, and that's what made me say that. I wasn't laughing at you. I was laughing because I'm like, they gonna degrade you and give you a test to see if you are black.
That's the only test that they could give me. I begged for, because I had heard stuff about rape and all that they give you a test and prove if you did it or if you didn't do it. I begged for that test. They didn't even want to give me that.
Right.
But I begged for the test, because I know I hadn't committed a crime.
I hear you.
And that's one thing that I tell you right now about any exoneration. We all know that if we can get the DNA test, we already know what the results are going to be.
You got that right.
Because we know we had nothing to do with it.
But it's just a dog fight to get it sometime, right?
It's a real dog fight. If you read in about my case, you'll see that I went from 2001 to 2008 before I could get the DNA test.
But is that because when you went, like you said, when you went in front of the board, they said that you could get out, but you was like, oh no, not on that case, I'm not. I didn't do that, and they flopped you, right?
Twice they did that.
Right.
I met all the criteria to make parole each time. I did everything I was supposed to do to make parole, but
except
they say I had no remorse because I wouldn't admit even in parole that I committed the crime. And I told myself, well, if I was going to admit that I did the crime, I would have told y'all that 27 years ago when you tried to give me 12 years. I wouldn't wait now to do it. I had nothing to do with that crime. I knew nothing about that crime until y'all told me about it. So, no, I'm not going to sit there. So, twice I got refused parole because I wouldn't admit to the crime.
So, each time, okay, like with you and Johnny, anytime y'all get in front of the parole board and y'all tell the parole board, they say, oh, you still don't have no remorse. And you go, no, I don't have no remorse because I didn't do it. I have remorse for the person that it happened to. Excuse me. I'm sorry it happened to him, but I didn't do it, so I don't have no remorse for it. That really pisses them off when y'all do that, right?
And it do. And we have a bill, I can't think of which one it is now, that we got passed in the legislature a couple of years ago against the parole board. They cannot use the fact that they cannot use that anymore. They were using that. They used it on us. They were using it for 100 years.
Right.
If you don't show remorse for a crime, then that's enough to set you off for parole or deny you parole. No, you cannot do that no more, and not in the state of Texas anyway.
So when the board does stuff like that, where they trying to make y'all feel bad about the remorse, or they trying to penalize y'all about it, so then they turn into judge, jury, and attorney at that moment while they asking y'all that question, basically, right?
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
So they can't do that. They can't do that no more in the state of Texas. And then, and another thing we got changed in the legislature is the eyewitness identification procedure. We got the law changed to where any eyewitness have to have collaborating statements, collaborating facts to go with their statements. Now,
that's right.
They can't. One person, like in my case, cannot say that I committed a crime unless there's something to collaborate. In my case, they had no fingerprints. They had none of the merchandise that was supposed to be taken from the later house. They couldn't find. I had none of that. Only thing they used were her words that I was the person. So in the state of Texas, they can't do that no more.
That's cool. Yeah. That's cool. I'm glad y'all fought and y'all got that, definitely. But look, it's what we need to do. We need to take a quick break, and we're going to come right back in. And, hey, we got a lot more to talk about, trust me. So, everybody, in this hour, we got Mr. Johnny Pinchback, who served 27 years. He's an exoneree. We got Mr. Charles Chatman, who also served 27 years. He's an exoneree. We're so glad they home. And as y'all can hear, they not bitter. They looking forward to life. They looking forward to, showing other people how to move forward. They out changing laws. Now they fighting, for the same laws that was going against them. And, they winning. So everybody stay locked in. Stay tuned in. This is a quick break, and we'll be right back. And like I said, get ready for the third hour. It's going to be a great third hour. We got Mr. Johnny Johnny Pinchback, his wife, is going to talk about being a prison wife. What all she went through while he was gone. What she saw him go through. How she kept his spirits up. How sometimes his spirits was down. It's a lot of good women out here, like Miss Taza, who's definitely down for Lorenzo. You know what I'm saying? So I just want y'all to know that it's a lot of still a lot of great women out here who stand behind their men through right, wrong, or whatever, and they just want them to come home. So that's what it's about. So we will be celebrating his wife in the third hour. So y'all stay locked in and y'all stay tuned in, and we'll be right back. Hey, we back, everybody. Welcome back to the I've Been Falsely Accused radio show. I'm your host, Cogee. I hope y'all enjoying the show. I hope I'm doing a great job today. My main man, Mr. Jeffrey Deskovic, he won't be with us today. He said he sends his love. He sends to the Exonerees. He sends much love to you guys, and he's wishing the best for you all. He's in a meeting, and it's going to run overtime, and I told him I'll handle it. Just go on and keep fighting and doing his thing like he's doing to save a lot of lives. But in this hour, everybody, we got Mr. Johnny Pinchback. He's an Exoneree. He served 27 years. We got Mr. Charles Chatman. He's an Exoneree. He served 27 years. And again, guys, I thank y'all for being on the show today.
You're welcome.
All right. You know what? So I felt like in this second hour, I didn't even want to talk about the case at hand. I wanted to talk about the men. I wanted to talk about the two human beings that I have right here on the phone with me that's full of love, full of compassion, but how just y'all are so on fire. Y'all don't sound bitter. Y'all looking forward to a brighter day. Now, don't get me wrong. Like a few things that I talked to Johnny about, his voice shifted. I could tell what certain things hurt him. Then when I went to Charles, his voice shifted, but it shifted because y'all went back to those moments that I asked y'all about, but y'all shook it off and y'all kept going, and I seen y'all rise back up again. Now, we on short time right now. We got 5 minutes before we go into the next hour, so we need to do this quick between the both of y'all. Johnny, whenever you talk about that, how do you, I know you go into the moment, but what helps you to rise back up and rise above what you've been through?
God.
I hear you.
God, my family, my wife, she loves me. My family, the bitterness that you were talking about, I made a promise to God that if you helped me get out of here, if you got me out of here, I would do your work.
Wow. And
I can't do that being bitter, being mad, being angry. I couldn't do that. I knew I couldn't do it. Because let me tell you something, Cogee.
Cogee. Yeah.
I could have gotten out of that place a long time ago, illegally, because they could not think me. I could have escaped. I started planning to escape from the day that I got there, and I won their trust. It took me 10 years, but I won their trust, and that was working my way outside that gate. They could not think me. But when I told my mother and my father, mother said, "No, baby, don't do it. You'll be running for the rest of your life." But they couldn't stop me.
Right.
The thing the military had implanted in my head: never give up on escape. I had been taken hostage. You feel me?
Right.
They could not stop me.
Right. Because it feel like they just snatched you.
Exactly. They couldn't stop me. They could not think me. But my mom's, she was like, "No, baby, don't do it, baby. You'll be running for the rest of your life." She said, one thing, she came down one time, she told me, she said, "You know what, baby?" She said, "I'm not going to die while you're in here." She said, "I'm going to live to see you get out of here." And that inspired me greatly.
I hear you, mama. She hung on, huh?
So you know what I did with her? You know what I did for her when I got out?
What you do?
I bought her a brand new big lacrosse.
Wow.
Brand new. She said, "Is that mine?" I said, "It's yours, baby."
Y'all celebrated together.
3 weeks later, I bought me a brand new Escalade, drove it over Mama's house. She said, "Is that mine too?" "No, baby, that ain't yours."
That's cool, man. That's cool. Hold on, Johnny, 1 second. Now, Charles, we down to 2 minutes. Now, you can talk about this, or we can go into the break, and then on the next break, you can talk about it off. You can sum it up within 2 minutes. How when I talked to you, your voice shifted, and then you raised it back up. and you got back into your moment right now, your free moment.
Well, I'm gonna tell you in one word what gets me up, and that's Eden. God has blessed me with a wonderful child, something I thought I'd never have in life because I didn't think I had another life on the outside. And God has blessed me with a wonderful little girl. And anytime I get down, all I got to do is get her, think about her, or see her, and I'm fine.
I hear you, man. I hear you. And you know what? It makes me feel good that, you know, I got 2 exonerees on here. And I mean, if we don't talk about prison, nobody would ever know y'all been to prison. I mean, you know, y'all so up-spirited, and, you know, I can feel the love and compassion. I can definitely feel it. Now, what I want to do, I'm going to go ahead and take this break, and then we're going to go into the third hour. When we come into the third hour, Mr. Johnny, I definitely want to talk to your lovely wife. I definitely want to talk to the shero. We're going to let the shero talk to the young women nowadays who got their men in jail and how to hold on and what they need to do. And, hey, maybe she could give some words of advice and wisdom and keep some families together, okay?
Okay.
Well, I just want to tell both of you guys, man, y'all both are my heroes, Mr. Johnny Pinchback and Mr. Charles Chatman. I mean that, you know, I'm learning so much when I do these shows from great men like y'all who went through some enduring stuff, and y'all made it through it, and y'all still standing strong, and y'all still smiling, and y'all still celebrating other people, and y'all not bitter. And, you know, that's a lot that a lot of men should do out here on the streets, being free. They should have better attitudes. So we're going to learn from y'all today, and we'll be right back. Stay locked in, and everybody, I hope y'all enjoying the show. We'll be right back.